got a lift in, got some shots up. Light, it was light. That was it.
After the game last night, Damian, obviously a big game for you guys, but is there any concern at all that, not comfortable, but like there's obviously still work to be done. So
Yeah.
even getting the big win, do you have to remind yourself that there's still nothing promised at this point?
I mean, I hope we don't have to remind ourselves. I think it was a lot of hard work to get to last night, and then to be able to get it done last night. You know, that was huge, but it could all go to waste. You know, if we don't stay locked in. You know, and usually when you have a big like emotional game like that, a huge game like that, and you win. You know, it's the ultimate letdown that could come after that, and you know, we just gotta keep our minds right and be ready for the game tomorrow night.
Is Memphis at all on your guys' radar?
I mean, I think right now we just taking it a game at a time, and you know, trying to be a better team, sustain the level of focus and urgency that we've been able to have so far. I think if we can just keep that in mind, then you know everything else will take care of itself.
You mentioned the mindset you guys have had. I mean, are you pretty pleased with how you guys have locked in, you know, from a mental standpoint over the last few weeks?
Yeah, I think you know, this year, even the times that we struggled, it wasn't that the effort wasn't there. We weren't playing hard enough. I think a lot of times it was the mental effort. You know, being able to stay sharp and communicate for a complete game, or not letting teams go on huge runs and stuff like that. I think, you know, we've been much better about it. So I think the mental part has been a huge difference in why we've been able to play much better.
Do you remember when that shift happened? I mean, was it kind of a gradual thing, or did it just kind of click in?
I think it was gradual, but slowly early in the year it was just getting better and better. You know, but it wasn't resulting in wins. And I think once the break came, after the break, we didn't play great for the majority of the Orlando game, and then we just, you know, we stayed with it, and you know, we had to be mentally strong to pull that game out. And I think once we got that one done, then from there on, it's been pretty consistent.
Have you identified anything that has gone awry with your free throw shooting?
I mean, in my career, typically I have long streaks where I go make a bunch of free throws in a row, and then when I miss, I have like a 5-game stretch where I just start missing, and then I start another streak. So I mean, that's just what it is. I shoot free throws all the time, and you know, so it's not like something I'm concerned about or anything like that. But I mean, it happens all the time. If you look at every streak, every time I've hit a bunch in a row, I always come back and I'll be like, all of a sudden miss a couple. And that's just the way it's been. Even when I was in college, I used to do the same thing. I don't know why.
What's the highest percentage you've ever shot? College,
High 80s. High 80s. I think this year is
90, huh?
never. I mean, maybe my last year in college I might have been 90, but this year I was at 91 last week. But I'll finish this year at 90.
Yeah.
Hey, what's your
Too close now to get that.
what's your perspective on, you know, what Harden has done this season and the Rockets, how they've been able to stay, you know, in the top three?
I mean, I think their team, they've had a special year. Been really consistent. You know, they won a lot of games. They depend on the three a lot. And, you know, a guy like him who can get to the rim, the way he can shoot the ball, and you surround him with guys that can shoot the ball as good as those guys can shoot the ball, and, you know, you'll make him even more dominant. And I think he's used his teammates great all year. He scored the ball well. He's rebounded the ball well. And I think that's part of the reason why, you know, a lot of people mention him as the MVP and why they won so many games.
When they made that coaching change, did you think he'd have the kind of success he'd have, you know, that he's had in D'Antoni's system? Handling the ball?
I mean, I knew once they moved him to the one where he was going to be handling the ball a lot, and then I saw them bring in like Eric Gordon and Ryan Anderson. And I was like, he's going to be out there playing pick and roll with somebody to throw a lob to and a bunch of shooters. And, you know, that's a setup for the kind of numbers that he got.
Damian, you passed that milestone, which has done a lot. I think 4,000 assists, 5,000, 1,500.
Yeah.
And you've done that a lot. So I'm curious at this point, are you even pleased by those anymore? Because it seems like you've done that consistently throughout your career to pass those times.
I mean, I appreciate it, but I think it's something that, for me, I take stuff in stride. You know, I see it and I'm kind of like, okay, that's real cool. But there's numbers out there for so much now that it's like you got to find the real significant ones, and I think this is one of them, you know, where it's just LeBron and Oscar Robertson to do it. A lot of guys come into the league and they start hot and they fade away, or some they start slow and then they get hot. So the fact that I could be one of those guys for the first 5 years to be able to play at that level, you know, it's an honor to be in their company. You know, but it also does something for me, you know, when there's a lot of noise and people say this or that about me. You know, that's one thing that doesn't lie. You know, not only have I been able to do something like that, but I've also won a lot of games, you know, as a pro. So, I mean, I take solace in things like that.
What did you think when you heard that Nurkic wished the Nuggets a happy summer?
I mean, I hope that he really meant, I hope they have a happy summer. You know, he wasn't, you know, making a bold statement. That's what I hope. But, you know, like I said before, he, you know, had a great game against his former team. You know, I'm sure he was really excited and really happy that they won the game. And the relationship between them is between them. You know, regardless of how it goes down, I'm on his side. So I wish him a happy summer, too.